Hey everyone, how's it going here? Oh, this can be a different kind of video today. In my area where I'm from, I'm known up here as the Lawnmower Man. I do lots of repair on lawn and garden equipment. You know, in my videos you've seen some of the restoration work and some of the international tractors that we work on. My day job is actually fixing lawn and power equipment for people. The big tractors is what I do as my hobby and aside. I'm just going to do a video here and show you what I do. I got an order come in this morning. The guy's looking for just a standard basic push mower that he can keep out of his lake property. I've got a bunch of mowers out back, so we're going to see what we can put them together. Alright, well, I got this little 20-inch rally mower right here that we could fix up and get going. The deck here is getting kind of rusty on it, so that there is just a good mower, a good engine I can use on something. But the mower deck I'm going to use that's a short shaft crankshaft, so that's not going to work out. Alright, we got this little pulsar mower here. This is a 21-inch mower. Now this is a China-made mower, but the deck is solid. It's not rusty. The cable and everything works on it, but like most of these, the motor was blown up on it. So we're going to repower this with a Briggs engine. So we're going to go out back and do some digging and see if we can find an engine to put on it. Alright, this is my engine barn here. This barn right here, I have full of just engines here, lawnmower engines. So we need to find a longer shaft engine here we can put on that deck. So let's take a look here and see what we got that we can use. You can see I got all kinds of engines in here that we can pick from. Yeah, there's one right there. It looks easy to get to. Yep, and that's even yeah, that might be on the longer side. Let's see what else we got. Go over on the other side. I did some parting out here a little while ago, so I know I got something. Just gotta figure out what's gonna work out best and be the easiest to get up and get going. Oh, that's a real short shaft crank. What's this 3.5 we got down here? So mower style. Yeah, let's go take this 3.5 horse Briggs and take that up there, and we'll set that on the deck and see how it works. Then we'll just have to get it up and get it going. She sits on there good. Now let's take her inside and see if that's going to be the right length shaft we need for the blade. See, with some of these mower decks, it's important. You got to make sure you got the right length blade on there, otherwise the blade's going to be too far up inside the deck housing, and when you're at your lower setting for cutting, it's not going to do a very good job. Then on the same note, you don't want it where the blade's sticking down below the deck. That doesn't help either. Well, I know y'all is going to be asking me, well, is that engine any good? Well, can I honestly tell you, I hope so. We're going to find out real quick, because when I pulled this motor, I didn't even see if it ran. More likely I pulled this motor off of a deck that was this too far gone to use. It wouldn't have been worth trying to fix the mower up and sell it when there's other decks out there that are better, such as this one right here. So we'll go through and bolt this guy down. Come on now, be nice to me. Sometimes it's hard to hold the engine and bolt it. Alrighty. She's bolted on there. So now I gotta find a blade to put on this fella. Please, I got a 21-inch blade we can put on there and see about getting her fired up. I'm working inside today because it's hot outside. It's 92 degrees outside. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here. look where that blade's sitting at inside that housing. So this motor here is not going to work. So we're going to have to go out and grab a motor that has a little bit longer crankshaft on it. So we'll quick pull this off and go dig another one. So this is what you got to check when you're doing motor swaps. See, now with this blade being way up there like this, you can have this thing sitting all the way down on the ground. It still ain't going to cut your grass the way you want it to. Well, here we go again. Back out to the motor shed and get a little bit longer shaft engine. Now, if I'm thinking right, the motor that other engine was sitting right next to might have been a little bit longer. Get a peek here. Oops. That wasn't on there very good. It is. Now, this is an older style engine here. 3.5 horse. Now that has, okay. That fellow there would probably work. But what's this other guy right here? They're both 3.5 horse engines. Well, I was kind of hoping to try to find a 158 engine, but I got them, but they're on mowers out back, and I just don't feel like going and taking one off right now. So we're going to go with a roll of dice right here. Well, it spins over. We're going to take this engine right here. I've got a feeling this will be a good engine. I can use the carburetor and parts off that other engine we took up there, because I'm sure it's going to need some carburetor work. Alright, now got that blade adapter switched out on this. Now let's try this guy and see how this one looks in here. I honestly don't know if this motor's any good or not. But what I do know is we're kind of having a disagreement here on bolting onto this deck. Okay, put this other blade on here. Okay, that's what I'm looking for right there. We got the proper clearance in here. We've got about maybe 3/4 of an inch from bottom of this deck to this. That's proper blade, and it also will help keep it cleaned out good too. So we're good. We found our engine. So on that note, go ahead. We'll put this blade on, get her tightened down. Now, what I do is whenever I'm putting the blade on here, I always replace the lock washer on here with a grade 8 lock washer. And I take and I put a little of this Loctite 222 purple on, just a little bit, just to make sure that blade stays on there. Because I tell you what, you ever see a lawnmower blade come spitting out one of these mower decks here, it's a pretty scary thing. Something else to do too, I always take a torque wrench and torque the blades on. This one right here, your blade's going to be torqued to 45 foot-pounds. In case you're wondering why this is spinning over so easily, it's because I don't have the spark plug in it. We're over. Start hooking things up and see if this thing will fire up. Okay, I see what they did. They eliminated the, I see they got rid of that safety brake. Well, all right, well, we'll just take this one off this. See, here's our first engine that they had the wrong shaft on it, so we'll just take some parts off that one, put in it. It's all good, we'll make it work. Sometimes a lot of these motor swaps to do, it's gotta rob Peter to pay Paul to make things happen. There we go. All right. What's that? And one thing cool about this, that rally, they had the cover on it. I needed to cover this up anyway, so it was a win situation. That's all on there. Now take and hook up our cable, make sure that works. Now, I see right now I've got to switch this around. That's all right, we can do that. Make this happen. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See, now your brake cable comes down on the right side here. So I got to flip around and put it over here. So I'm going to quick do that and get it hooked up down there. There, we got that changed over here and got this all hooked up now on this side. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this thing right here and go to the newer style. That way that'll eliminate the possibility that I can, you know, squeal like a pig at you. A good time to check, make sure there's no sheared flywheel key on this guy. That's why I get a kick out of some of these people that haven't really done this kind of work that much before, and they say, oh, I can convert one of these over in 20 minutes. Well, as you can obviously see, look at all the work we've had to go through so far, just making changes on stuff. Alright, the flywheel key looks good in there, so that's good. Get the right size for that one now. Well, you might ask me, well, if you do all this work and it don't run? Well, that's all part of the experience, isn't it? These Briggs Strattons, though, they're, let me rephrase that, these older Briggs Strattons, they're a pretty decent engine, you know, they're kind of diehards in a way, if you will. There we go. Alrighty, now, I think what I'm going to do, since we're at this part right here, I'm going to quick wash this off here with some degreaser before we go ahead and put the blower shroud on here at this point. We're going to be hoping for the best that we're not going to have to take this part again, except for maybe change the carburetor. So we'll go ahead and start putting the shroud back on here. I tell you what, it is quite warm outside. Ew. Well, now with that old stub sticking up, I can't use that type of shroud. So, can I use this fella? Well, gonna have to go back to the old style, as much as I don't like that, but alrighty, I guess that's what we gotta do. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's not always cut and dry doing these engine swaps. Not always. So we'll go ahead and put this old starter clutch on here. What I am going to do, though, spray a little bit of PB Blaster inside there. I don't want to grease, I just want to have a little bit of lubrication. There's those little ball bearings inside there. They're supposed to be dry, yes, but just a little bit of lubrication just to help free them up a little bit so they slide in those teeth like they're supposed to. That feels 100% better already. Alright, go back this way. Yeah, I know we're doing what we're not supposed to do, use a chrome socket on an impact, but it was within reach of my hand, so I'm not going to get too upset about it. That recoil looks okay. Well, this motor that we're putting on here says it's a 1992, but I don't know if I believe that. I think this has had a block change at some point. And this thing, we don't have the screen to go on here, so this is something else I'm going to have to go do. I'm going to have to go back and look and see if I can find that screen that goes in there. I have one of those screens. Obviously, you saw that barn full of motors and stuff out there. I have a pretty good fighting chance of having a lot of these old parts when I need them. But when you get in situations like this, little modification got to do here. We'll put that brake on here. Got to take and just trim that up a little bit so that takes and sits down on there like it's supposed to. Like I said, not always cut and dry on these swaps. So take my little plasma cutter and just zip that out a little bit. And okay, yep, I see right where I got to cut it. That's what's nice when you have the old style, you can just copy it. So I just got to make one little angle cut right there and we'll be in business. Alright, it's starting to come together now. Now, to be honest with you, I honestly don't know how long this motor's been sitting around. So before we go cranking on this thing, putting gas in this thing, starting it up, I'm just going to take a little bit of PB Blaster and roll this motor over in our cylinder so we're not starting this thing up on a, a dry cylinder. Just make sure we got a little bit of lubrication in there. Alrighty. Yeah, it needs oil in it, so we'll have to get some oil here. And this is an older engine here. I'm putting some 40 weight oil in this right now just to get it up and get it started. We'll run it for a little bit and then we'll change it. Yeah, I'll get me some liquid steroid juice here to put down this carburetor and see if this thing will bark off at all. Throttle and everything's good on it, not bound up. Well, let's see what happens here. First time in Lord knows how many years since this motor's run. Oh, I guess I better put the pull cord out here. We're going to need that. Let's see. How about that? She's gonna run, but we got another issue right now. The pull cord here. The pull cord here is too short, so we're gonna put a longer cord on here so I can pull it more. Well, she's gonna run though, so that's a good sign. All right, give me a little bit of gasoline here to run in here. Tank looks like in this thing. Well, this for the heck of it, I'm just going to put a little bit of gas in there. Who knows, maybe possibly the thing might pick up fuel. That'll be enough. Yep, that's kind of what I thought was going on with it. The diaphragm's out of it and it's not picking up fuel. So next thing we're going to do here is I'm going to pull this carburetor out, put a new diaphragm kit in it. I'm going to do this off camera. I've got another video out where I go through and I show you how to rebuild these carburetors and get them up and get them going again. I'll put a link up here at the end of this video if you want to check that out. That's something you want to learn how to do. Alrighty, just went through and put a new diaphragm kit in this carburetor here, and I replaced the primer bulb on it. So we'll go ahead and put this thing on here. And I'm thinking too, before we go too farther, that pull rope on here is kind of ridiculous and too short. We're going to change that out and put the correct length on there. So like so. This is one of the more difficult carburetors to put on because it doesn't have that. It's just the spacer that goes in there. Don't have that arm you can kind of hang on, and as you put it in there, it makes it a little simpler. Not terribly difficult, but your style is a little bit easier. Something else I got to do is I got to take and see if I got a decent used breather air filter that I can wash up and re-all put in there. I guess I'll just have to replace it with a new one. I got those. See, the idea too on this is you don't want to put too much money in these mowers as well, otherwise you're kind of defeating the purpose of doing this stuff if you're putting more in what you can sell them for. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hang on a lot of good used parts just for this type of purpose. See, that way, most cases, the only thing I have in these mowers is time. Alrighty, well, we'll go ahead and I'll shoot this blower shroud back off. We'll get this pull rope situation taken care of. Alrighty, going through and put the new diaphragm kit in the carburetor and replace the pull rope there on it, so that's working right now. We'll see how she'll start up and she'll sit idle now. she's up and running. The motor doesn't sound too bad. You obviously saw it smoked a little bit when we first started up, but you know, as much PB Blaster I sprayed in that cylinder, and with a little Marvel's Mystery Oil that's in there too, that's not alarming to me at all. As you saw, it did clear up the more it ran. I did set the RPM on it at 3,200 at full speed right now. I usually set them at 32 on a push mower. You can set them at 36, but being on an older engine, right, that an older engine like that, 3,200 is a little bit more easier on it. So, well, next step is to do is get it all prepped up and detailed, and it's ready to go on to its new owner. Now what I do to prep this stuff is I use that Zepp industrial purple cleaner in my shop. I like this stuff very well. I'll just take and spray this whole mower deck and everything down with this, and it'll remove any oil and residue that is on the mower. You do not want to do this and leave this stuff out in the sunlight, otherwise it will leave streaks on the mower, and I'm here to tell you they are this awful to trying to get those streaks off of it if it does that. So we're gonna wash this whole thing down good, soak it down with this industrial cleaner, and let it sit for about 10 minutes, and we'll wash her all off and she'll be ready for final prep. And I'll show you what we do on that to make it look good. Alrighty, she's all washed and dried off here now. Now the next step we're going to do here, you know, see how the motor here is kind of dingy and the paint's coming off it. So I'm just going to take some regular black spray paint, just some cheap black spray paint's all you need. And I'm just going to take and just kind of, you know, just kind of color that in just so it's all black, you know, just so it looks better. And, you know, being this is an older motor, and see how it's all, the paint's come off there? We're just going to take and paint that. Now, as far as you're saying, well, you're going to get that overspray on that dull deck there. Well, I'll show you how we handle that. Just hold on now. So I'm going to go through and quick fog this in, the motor to black, and I'll show you what we do next. Now, you see that glossy engine, how it looks on that, like, faded black mower deck? Well, I'll show you how we fix that up. Now, after this all good clean, she's all good and clean, and she's ready for preparation. I got some of this VHT engine enamel. This is a gloss clear. We're just going to spray this all over that deck just to kind of shine it up a little bit and make her look good. So we're just going to lay a light coat across here like so. Alright, now see, I got some of this Rust-Oleum high heat ceramic, it's aluminum like header paint, you know, good for 2,000 degree, more than adequate for this muffler. We're just going to take and blow a coat of paint on this muffler and make it look good and put it on, and she'll look pretty spiffy. Alrighty, she's got a clear coat on it now, and you know, we'll just take and let that sit overnight and dry up and glossen up a little bit, and we'll come out tomorrow morning and see how she turned out. Well, we're at the next day here, and there's our Pulsar mower we refurbished there. She's all set and tuned and ready to go, and you can get a look at that muffler on there that's we took and repainted with some of that header paint, and she looks good, and yeah, she come out real good. She's sitting there shining bright like a diamond. She'll be going down the road, her new owner. Alright everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this video here. Just on a little refurbish of we basically took a good deck as you saw and put an old school Briggs Stratton on it. Like I said, a lot of those Pulsar mowers out there, you know, they're a lower line lawnmower, like say they're made in China, and the motors don't last very long on those, and you have one of those sitting around with a good deck and you got a good Briggs motor, you can do exactly what I just did here. But thanks for hanging out with me. If this is the type of video that you enjoy, well, we got more videos like this and more videos that are going to be coming. You know, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below, and maybe if I could convince you to subscribe, and that'd be excellent. We have a playlist of all kinds of different cool videos out there you might want to check out, you might find to your liking. So until next time, we'll see you in our next video. Take care, everyone.